Good morning. Welcome back to the final stretch of the Carton Show. We start with a very interesting poll that was released. They talked to NFL executives, NFL scouts, NFL coaches, and they get information, they compile it together, and they came up with a ranking of the top 10 quarterbacks. Remember, this is executives, coaches, and scouts. And notably not on this list is a quarterback who has one of the best records ever, a quarterback who started in the Super Bowl, a quarterback that we refer to as the machine, Brock Purdy. Why do you think he's continually overlooked and disrespected by people inside the league, not just outside the league?
Well, it's important that we acknowledge that this list, as it's set up there on the screen, is voted on by coaches and executives. They're the people that missed out on Brock Purdy. So they make Brock Purdy a top 10 quarterback. Ooh. They're all admitting we messed up.
I like that.
We don't know what the hell we're doing. That's all this is. Go put that list back up there again.
I like that, Craig. Great take.
Put it up there again. Oh. That's all this is.
You admit you're wrong.
Look,
they all passed on him.
Every one of those guys is a first-round pick. Every one of them. So they're not going to admit that they goofed.
I don't think Dak's a first-round pick.
They're all first-round picks.
I don't think Dak is.
Yeah, Dak's a first-round pick, too.
What about Tom Brady?
He's not playing. He's not playing. That's why he's not on the list. By the way, he'd be number one on the list if he came back to play right now. So part of this is I got to protect my own ass, and I can't admit that I really foobarred not picking Brock Purdy. I can make an argument that, look, Mahomes is number one. No one's going to argue that. These same people passed on Mahomes when he was available.
Yeah.
Until the Kansas City Chiefs got him. So, look, we go crazy about lists. I don't know why. Like, I don't care about your list. I don't care about that guy's list. I care about my list. You care about yours, you care about yours. So I'm not going to overreact to it. But I will say this. If you are putting together a list today of the 10 best quarterbacks in football today, and Brock Purdy is not on that list, you've exposed yourself as knowing nothing about football.
Who do you replace on that list with Brock Purdy?
I would put Brock Purdy on my top 10 list.
Yeah, put the list up there again.
Let's look at it. Who do you got? Take someone off.
I'll take Dak Prescott off right now. That's simple.
Dak Prescott.
Easy peasy. If you're starting a team right now, you want Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott? Right now, today.
If I wanted to win one season, I would probably take Prescott.
I wouldn't even.
But he's never done it.
Yeah.
My guy's gone to 2 NFC championship games and a Super Bowl. Dak Prescott's never been past the second round. If you ask the Dallas Cowboys right now, forget about money for a second. Would you trade straight up Dak Prescott for Brock Purdy? The answer is yes, all day, every day, and twice on Sunday.
It would be something to think about.
100%, Blacks. And take money out of it. I recognize Brock's not making any money, so it's an easy answer. Take money out of it. Outside of Mahomes and Burrow, I put Brock Purdy there.
Outside of what you said, that they don't want to come out and admit that he's a top 10 quarterback because they don't want to, let everybody know that they footballed the whole situation by taking him. But what I think is that a lot of these coaches and execs are basically making the decision based off of he wouldn't be Brock Purdy if he was playing for the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay, that's fine.
That's what the whole thing is.
But that's also that's a shot because
when it comes down to pure quarterbacking, he's not a top 10 quarterback. But
what does that mean, pure quarterbacking?
As Justin Herbert.
Okay, ability to throw certain types of passes.
He's not a pure natural quarterback. But C.J. Stroud is. He takes this team, this Houston Texan offense, with no name players on the offense, no disrespect to you guys, but he has elevated them to being a AFC championship caliber football team. When you talk about top 10 quarterbacks being a pure quarterback, I believe that's what they are saying. Brock Purdy is having a success. He's winning football games. He's surrounded by all pros. And what they're saying is they don't believe he's a top 10 quarterback.
Which is why, look, we all love Josh Allen. You're a Bills fan. You love him more than we do. And I get that. So here's what's going to be interesting, right? An argument could be made. Josh Allen was also a byproduct of the guys around him. Stephon Diggs was a game changer when he got traded from Minnesota to Buffalo. And having Gabe Davis as the number 2 guy there wasn't all that bad. Let's see what Josh Allen does without those guys. Because he ain't got nobody.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be that good this year.
There are literally, you could count on one hand. Brady's one of them. Mahomes is one of them. I'd have to think,
You also
for other guys.
can't question that Josh Allen makes plays off schedule, outside of what was planned in the huddle.
Yeah, but it's also what kills the Buffalo Bills when he tries to do that stuff. And look, he's a great quarterback. Yeah. I love Josh Allen. This is not a knock on Josh Allen, but there's really only put that list up again, guys, if you don't mind. When I look at it, Tom Brady was the best at taking guys you never heard of and making them great players and good players and winning players and Super Bowl champions. Mahomes does the same thing, right? Mahomes elevates everybody's game. He's going to make everybody on the field better, except for last year when everybody dropped the ball that he threw to them. Joe Burrow, great quarterback. Does he make people better? I don't know. Josh Allen, does he make people better? We'll find out.
Yes.
This year, Lamar Jackson. I'd argue that Lamar Jackson has had great wide receivers throughout his career in the NFL. Stafford had one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game. All right? Herbert had 2 great wide receivers in his 4-year career. C.J. Stroud, again, is he responsible for Nico Collins and Tank Dell becoming great?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Feels like it.
Fair enough. 1 year. He'll have to do it again. We know about Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff, he make people better? No. And Dak Prescott, we know, doesn't make anybody better. So if you want to look at quarterbacks who make average guys great or really good, there's one guy that does that. Now that's maybe 2 with C.J. Stroud. But the knock on Brock Purdy that he plays with good players is completely unfair because all those guys outside of Mahomes have played with great players. It's just not fair. I have a question for you.
Yep.
Which guy in your career made players better, Eli or Ben?
Oh, that's tough.
Because Hines Ward wasn't a physical specimen.
You know what?
Right?
I would say this because of the different styles of offense that we were in. When I came here to New York with Eli, we would go into a game or a play, and we would have package plays. If he didn't like what he saw at the line of scrimmage, he could audible to a different play.
Got it.
That's interesting.
Ben Roethlisberger didn't have that option. When we went to the line of scrimmage, that's all he had. And we had to find a way to make it work even if we were in a bad play. So when you know you're in a bad play offensively and you know pre-snap that the defense has the play covered, we have to find a way to get open.
Right. And you're not allowed to audible out of it.
And he has to force the ball in situations where today coaches will go crazy about. But we went in situations where we had one play. We knew the play was covered. All right, Ben's going to have to find a way to get me the ball into double coverage, or he's going to have to get out the pocket, create some time for us to get open because we know that we're in a bad playoff.
That's crazy to me. So Eli had options, audible options, and Ben didn't.
Even up to later in his career, they finally gave him the freedom, even though he was a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Wow. Freedom
in the offense to go up to the line of scrimmage.
And what's crazy about that
that's the reason why I would say that.
When you got to New York, Eli Manning wasn't yet Eli Manning. He almost got benched, the Super Bowl run, 2006, 2007.
But when you have an option to get out of a bad play to get into a better play, I'm only saying that because I know what it was like personally.
Who was that? Was that Gilbride?
Well, I had 3. I had Gilbride, I had Mike Mularkey, and I'm drawing a blank.
All good. Because everyone said about Kevin Gilbride that his offenses were too complicated.
Ken Wisenhunt.
God, so you had legitimate guys.
Wizard, yeah.
God, all right, so there you go. So, again, it's take the list for what it is. Don't go crazy about people's lists. But the knock on Purdy that he plays with great players at some point has to stop, right? Steve Young is not in the Hall of Fame if he plays his entire career in Tampa, right? Oh, he got to play with Jerry Rice. You think that had something to do with the fact that he was pretty damn good? Do we knock Steve Young, or does he have a yellow jacket? And I'm not picking on Steve Young I'm making a point. 99% of the Hall of Fame quarterbacks had great offensive weapons to throw the football to. Dan Marino had 2 of the greatest of their generation in Duper and Clayton.
Yes, he
right?
did.
Does anybody knock Dan Marino's game?
No. Hey, Jim Kelly had 2 of the best ever to do
Yes,
it.
Hall of Famers and Andre
got the 4.
Reed.
Never won one, but
By the way, Jim Kelly had the running back, the offensive line, the wide receivers, the defense, the tight end.
Lofton.
Yeah, eat everybody. So let's not use that as a negative. Hey there, thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.